Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the second news on 27th January newspaper front page dot. PMLN withdraws SNAP bill in line with the PTM decision. NA rejects a bill seeking punishment for those involved in enforced disappearances by Amir Wasim. Islamabad, the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz PMLN on Tuesday withdrew a private member's bill seeking an amendment to the National Accountability Ordinance 1999 in the National Assembly in line with the decision of the Pakistan Democratic Movement (PDM), which had announced that the opposition would not support any government move to change the country's constitutionality. Country's accountability laws. The other significant happening in the National Assembly was the rejection of a bill that had jointly been moved by independent MNA Mohsen Dawar and the Balochistan National Party BNP Chief Sardar Akhtar Mengar, seeking the punishment of life imprisonment for those found involved in enforced disappearances of the people in any part of the country after it was supposed by the government. And through the withdrawn bill, the PMLN had sought withdrawal of the federal government's power to appoint the judges of the accountability courts in the country, and it had been jointly moved by Khurram Dastagir Khan, Rana Sanawallah, Mohsen Nawaz Ranja, and Mariam Aurangzeb. I withdraw the bill as the PMLN in line with the PDM decision and has decided not to amend or hold discussions on NAB, National Accountability Bureau, laws, said Khurram Dastagir Khan when asked by Deputy Speaker Qasim Suri to move the private member's bill titled National Accountability Amendment Bill 2020. Talking down after the assembly session, Mr. Khan said it was a simple one-page bill through which they had called for the transfer of the authority of the federal government to appoint accountability judges to the chief justices of the respective high courts. On the other hand, the Assembly rejected the 4 similar bills of the PMLN regarding the appointment of judges in banking courts. Anti-terrorism courts, customs courts, and anti-narcotics courts, when all of them were strongly opposed by the ministers concerned and parliamentary secretaries. All these bills were rejected through a voice vote, while moving the bill regarding appointment of judges in the anti-narcotics courts, PMLN, Mohsen Nawaz Ranja quoted the example of the case of Rana Sanawallah and said that everyone saw as to how a judge was transferred during the hearing of the case through a simple message on the mobile phone. He suggested that the powers to transfer judges should be given unto the chief justices of the provincial high courts to save the judgments from possible influence of the executive. After attending a joint meeting of the PMLN's parliamentary groups on Monday, party's Vice President Mariam Nawaz had ruled out possibility of holding talks with the government on any issue, particularly the NAB laws. She had studied that the PMLN would not allow the government to change the authority laws, adding that the present rulers would face the same NAB which was now for the opposition. Meanwhile, the National Assembly also rejected a bill moved by MNA Mohsen Dawar seeking an amendment to the Pakistan Penal Code 1860 and the Code of Criminal Procedures 1898 aimed at criminalizing the offense of enforced appearances in the country. Speaking in court of the court, in speaking in support of the bill, Mr. Dawar said that there had been unrest in the provinces of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa over the enforced disappearances of the people. He said the purpose of the bill was to criminalize the offense. He said the bill had suggested life imprisonment for those found involved in the cases of enforced disappearances. He asked the Federal Minister for Human Rights, Dr. Shirin Azari, to support the bill, reminding her past when she used to talk about the issue while in the opposition. Opposing the bill, Parliamentary Secretary for Interior Shaukat Ali said that after the 18th Amendment, the law and order had now been the provincial subject. He said that they had referred the bill to the provincial governments to seek their opinion and they were yet to respond. He asked the Deputy Speaker to defer the bill, but the latter put it for a voting, which ultimately led to its rejection. Heated arguments at the outset of the sitting. The House witnessed exchange of heated arguments between Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi and the opposition members when the latter demanded a debate on the adjournment motion on the recent increase in power tariff. And PPP's Syed Naveed Kamar and Raja Pervez Ashraf asked the Deputy Speaker to allow the debate after suspending the normal business. The Foreign Minister took the floor and first suggested the debate on some other day and later announced that the government was ready to hold a debate on the issue immediately every day, even today. When the opposition protested, PMLN's Arsan Iqbal questioned Mr. Qureshi's act of responding to a matter which the opposition had raised with the Deputy Speaker. He said Mr. Qureshi was responding to the issues related to the parliamentary affairs despite the fact the government had an advisor. He said if the foreign minister was looking after the parliamentary affairs, then who was running the foreign ministry? He alleged that it was because of such acts of the minister that the country was facing humiliation at the international level on all the fronts, be it the PIA or the Kashmir issue. Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs, Ali Muhammad Khan, defended the foreign minister and then hit out at the PMLN for not showing up to a scheduled meeting with the government delegation on Monday. Nearly 100 elected members of the opposition preferred to attend a meeting that was being presided over by an unelected person instead of giving importance to the parliament, said the minister in his appearance reference to the PMLN and parliamentary party meeting, which was also addressed by Marim Nawaz. You said last week you would come and cooperate in running the parliament more smoothly and a discussion would take place in the office of the NL Speaker. We We went to the NS Speaker's office. Other people from the opposition came. If any party did not come, it was the PMLN, he said. He said the PMLN members remember the constitution in front of the mic, but forget everything outside the parliament. We are told vote co is the door. Respect the vote. Yesterday, you gave a lot of respect to the vote when you went in front of an unelected person instead of this secret parliament, he said. He was of the view that the PMLN should have held this meeting at the party's office instead of the Parliament House building. PMLN Samarim Aurangzeb wanted to respond to the minister, but the deputy speaker adjourned the sitting until Friday morning without taking up more than 70% business on the agenda. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, to please subscribe to the channel and press the like and bell button to get the first message. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.